Alrighty, guys. So I got a friend who got this bow. I think it's for his wife, and he just I don't know where he picked it up or where he got it, but he doesn't have string. And he wanted a string on it. So let me show you how I make my strings. And I got a B55. That's what I use, and I just picked this up. I don't even know where. But I mean Amazon or your local archery store or Bass Pro, whatever's close by to you. I'm sure you can find some. And basically, so what I do is I'll just like draw an imaginary loop right, or make an imaginary loop right there, and bring it all the way down, and basically make another imaginary loop right there, and so that leaves me with that much string right there. And then I go ahead and add just a tad bit more. And then I'll cut that there. And then I'll make a total of 12 strands, all the same exact size. And we'll pick up there. All right, guys, so now we got our 12 strands all cut out, even. And then I'll find a spot basically where I feel like would make a good loop. So let's say we got, let's just say that's the loop there. And that gives, that would give me about, an inch or so of like extra. Now, that's roughly about what I put. You can go a little more or a little less. Oh, actually, I wouldn't go less, but you can go a little more if you wanted to. And yeah, so basically, once I got that, I got my serving string. And I bought this little thing at Bass Pro, and it works awesome because I used to just do them by hand, spinning by hand. Dude, you're asking for carpal tunnel. That stuff is so painful. So this little tool has been a game changer. And basically, what I'll do here with my string is I'll just lay that strip like that. I'll go over it a handful of times. Basically, pick whatever direction you want to be spinning the string. Pick a direction and stick to it the whole way. It don't really matter which way, just stick to it. That's what I found works best for me. And yeah, so give it a few spins by hand at first, just to get her started. And so there I gave her about 3 spins, and you can't really see that very well, but that's roughly 3 spins. And once we get those spins, I will then grab this extra tag end and put it over that. So I don't know if you could see that very well, but basically spun that, now put it over, and now that it's over, I'll spin over that tag end 2 or 3 times. And this part ain't very impressive, just I'm doing it by hand, so just to get her started. Now that we got that started, pull it snug, pull it pretty tight, and then once you got that nice and tight, tighten this sucker up, and get everything nice and tight on this. And once that's all nice and tight, then that's where the fun begins. And the way this works is basically just spin her around. It's a little tough when you're getting it going, but once you got it going, the rest is easy. So basically just keep on spinning it, and this bad boy's just gonna take over and just basically keep working its way all the way up. And I like to do this pretty much all the way up until here, and then once I got it to right about here, I'll fold it over where I want my loop, and then I'll go ahead and finish off the rest of it. And then once I get it all finished off up to like I'll keep going up to give or take about the girth of a finger down to here, and then I'll work my way right back up, and I'll finish here where that loop ends, and then I'll show you that part. All right, guys, so there we go. We got a little strip of serving there, and we basically make our loop there. And once I make that little loop where I want it, I will loosen this up a little bit, and just keep the spinning going. And we'll do something kind of like that where we join the two. So we'll do that 2 or 3 times. Try to keep it nice and tight. And once you get that, we will then keep on going with this. So now I'll tighten this back up and go back to spinning and just spin this all the way down. I'll probably go maybe 4 fingers far down, and sometimes I'll even open up the string, open it up in there a little bit so I can get my fingers in there. I will open a bit out, a little bit of the leftover stuff, throw it in there, and then open up another roll section and throw another little bit in there. That'll kind of help blend it in a little, and then spin it. And we'll pick up once I get maybe 4 fingers down. All right, guys, so there we go. We got it all tied up, and I burnt off the ends. And so now basically what I'll do is I'll just put this on whichever end. And I make the one loop pretty small, the loop that I plan to just keep on there at all times. And then I'll make one loop that's fairly bigger, the loop that I plan on sliding up and down the bow. So basically I'll just stretch it out like that, give myself an imaginary kind of right there. And it don't have to be at a perfect brace height, because the way I'm going to do it is, I'll make the loops and then I'll just twist it until I get the height that I want. And that's what we'll keep. So this loop is the one that I'll leave kind of big, so I'll probably make it right about there. I'll go ahead and pinch it off right there so that I know where I'm starting my string. And then I'm going to just basically start with the string from here. And same concept as the other one. Loop it all around, and we'll show you a little bit of that. All right, guys, so I like to start it off by hand, get a little bit going, and then once I get it by hand, I try to clamp it off onto something, and then hold this end tight, and just spin this, and this thing will just pretty much do all the work for you, almost. Yeah, it's as simple as that. You literally just spin it, and it'll kind of just walk itself all the way up, and I mean, it'll make quick progress. You can already see the progress that's been made, and yeah, so I basically just take this all the way down to. So like, let's say I want my loop to end right here. I would work this all the way to here. And once I got to this part, I would flip this end over like that and just keep on, with these both laying down on there, keep on rolling up until wherever I want to stop. And so basically that's what I'll do right now. And then we'll pick up there. All right, guys. So now that we've worked all the way down here, this is actually pretty big, but you know, I like to make my loops pretty big for the top that's gonna be sliding up and down. I just want, you know, no restrictions at all. I like for it to slide up and down comfortably. So now that I got all this made up, I, you know, flip it over and I basically just keep them right there, and then I'll just keep on spinning, and I'm basically just gonna combine the two this time. And I'll start it by hand a little bit just to get it going, and then once we got it going a little bit by hand, I will then clamp this end off. While that's clamped, I'm going to pull this tight, and I'll just keep spinning this in the same direction and just work my way down about 4 fingers down. And I'm going to do that and we'll pick up right there. All right, guys? All right, guys, so here we have it. One big loop, one little loop. And the reason why I do that is simply because I like my big loop to go up to the top and it can just slide freely. That's just the way I like them. That's the way I make them. And then I make this little one because this one goes on the bottom. And that one's pretty much just going to stay there at all times. It's never going to really go nowhere. That's why I keep that one small. And so what I do for now is, since I never actually measured my string, I just kind of eyeballed it. That's what it looks like there. Then we'll string up the bow and see what it looks like. This is the way I string up my loop trim. And so, do that out. So then we check the brace height. And I'm basically just going to set this here and go up to my thumb. So right now it needs to come up a little bit. So what I'll do is I'll unstring it. And that's why I leave my loop so big, so I can, you know, I can string it off and unstring it real easy. Real easy. And then, I will now put quite a few twists in this thing. And I'll just put a few twists in this thing. And then after I put a handful of twists in there, I will put my little bond loop back on. And we will try to restring this right back up. And we're going to keep doing that until we get to the brace height that I like. Or I guess in this case, until we get the brace height that he likes. And that's what he was asking for. From here, it went up to my thumb. So we need to put a little more twist in it. I'm going to go ahead and put a little more twist in it and get it just right, and we'll pick up there. All right, guys, so now that we have the brace height right where we want it, I'm going to go ahead and show you now the way I did the, you know, I started everything off. I kind of didn't do a very good job of showing you how I do it, but this is the same exact concept as when I'm doing the little loops and everything. So basically, I pick a spot to start, which I'm picking here. And then when I spin, I try to, for these, it doesn't matter too much, but for the center, I spin the way that I put the spins in it whenever I was adjusting it. So in this case, the spins are going, kind of going this way. So I'm going to follow that concept. And so in order to do that, I'll be going like this. So I'll put like 2 or 3, or however many, you know, 4, whatever you want. But a few spins there, and then now this tag end, I'll flip it into this way, and then I'll keep this other side going, and we'll do one. Oh. Not doing a very good job showing you guys. Sorry about that. But 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll do 4 this way, and basically I'm just gonna spin right over this, and okay, give me just a second. All tangled up here. Sorry about that. But okay, we're going over it once, going over it twice, 3 times, and 4 times. So now that we've reached this spot here, I'll pull the little tag end nice and tight. Now that I got it pulled nice and tight, I'll throw it back over to this side and do another, you know, give or take 4 manual spins. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now that we got those 4 manual spins, I'm gonna just kind of keep this out of the way. I'm gonna tighten this up here, and so tighten it up, get it real nice and tight, and eventually I'll get there. Okay, we're getting there. Getting close. Okay, we're pretty nice and tight there. Now I'm gonna hold on this end and just get the spinning, and you know, kind of hold tight on one end, and it'll get going here. It's kind of, it takes a bit to get it going. Right now it's just kind of making the whole string spin, so it takes a bit to get it going. But once it kind of breaks loose, you'll hear it. It'll eventually, something's got to give. And, oh, maybe I gotta loosen this up just a hair. Okay, we'll try that again. Okay, there we go. It kind of broke loose. And once you get her going, it's smooth sailing from there. So basically after that, you just spin and just keep spinning until you get to where you want to stop. In my case, I'll be stopping, give or take somewhere here. And then we'll pick up once I get to that little section. All right, guys? All right, guys, so there we've used this to spin all the way down, get a nice uniform spin. And so, you know, we got our spins going on and everything. Now, what I'll do is I'll loosen this up. You can just kind of loosen that up and leave a lot. I've always been a big fan of just cut everything way bigger than what you need it, and it's always better to have extra than not enough. So this is the part where I start to kind of tie everything off. And the way I like to do it is I'll put my finger there and wrap around my finger, 4 times. 2, 3, 4. And then the tag end, I'm going to slide my finger out of there. Slide keep everything pinched. Don't let it all unravel. But I'll slide my tag end right in through all the loops, just like that. And now it comes out this side. And then I'll find, kind of where we left off, which is this loop here. Looks like, yep, okay. So we'll find that, and then the tag end, kind of hold it, and go over the tag end, just like that. Pull real nice and tight. You want this real nice and tight. And then that's loop number 2, loop number 3, and finally loop number 4. And that was it. So now we grab our tag end and pull it out that way. And then just give her one more nice good pull. Real nice and tight. You probably won't rip this, not with your hands. Probably tear up your hands if you try to rip it with your hands, but give her a good nice pull. Then it'll look something like that. And then I'll cut with my scissors here. I'll leave about a quarter inch or so. And then I'll go back to this tag end. Same thing, about a quarter inch or so. Now that we got those tag ends there, I'll take my lighter. Careful not to burn any of this, strictly burning the loose end. And I like to smash it in. I acted just a little too quick. We're going to redo that one. Okay, smash it in just like that. And then same thing here. Catch on fire. Just like that. And that's all there is to that. And it's pretty much ready. And I'll go ahead and leave the the knock for him to decide where he wants it, just in case everyone has different preferences. So we won't be doing that here, but that's it. That's all there is to the string. He didn't mention anything about silencers, but maybe on a different occasion I'll show you how I put in my silencers. There's a lot of cottontail in my area, so that's my go-to. But Beaver fur is the top thing to go to. That's what everyone goes to. You can buy some, but I just use cottontail. But yeah, I'll keep y'all posted on the next string. That's all there is to it, guys, and I hope y'all enjoyed. Yes, sir. Alright, guys, and so for the last and final step, is once you get your string all done, it won't matter too much right now since this string is freshly made and the B55 already comes with wax. So this part might not be super important, but it's good to have anyways. Your bow wax. This is what I use right here, bowstring wax, and it's just probably the cheapest wax you can pick up at Walmart. I just rub a little bit on the string. I don't put any on the servings, just the the string itself. Just put a little bit, and just go up and down, just pinch it and up and down. Get it one way and go another way, and just don't go too fast, too crazy, because it'll start to get hot. It'll kind of burn. But you want to get it hot, right? You want the wax to really get up in there. So you want to get it hot, but not hot to where you're burning yourself. Don't burn yourself. Just something reasonable. You'll feel it. You'll know what's reasonable. Whatever you can bear. And then get it all nice rubbed in. That looks good. Then we go to the other side and do the same exact thing. Rub in a little bit of wax. Yes, sir. And really, you want to wax your string regularly. Pretty much, if you go out to shoot it, you go out for quite a while to shoot it. Go ahead and add some wax to it. If I just go out there and shoot like 5 or 10 shots or something, I probably won't worry about it. Just let it be. Wax it up the next time. But if you're out there for an hour or anything over that shooting, or 30, even just 30 minutes, 30 consecutive minutes of out there practice shooting, I recommend go ahead and put some wax on it right after. That's the way I like to maintain my strings. It just seems like they last a hair bit longer. And there you go, guys. That's what it's going to look like. I'm not going to draw the bow back too far just because this is not my bow, so I don't know what the limits of this bow are or what they'll be drawing it back at. So, yes, sir. There you have it, guys. That's what the bowstring looks like. Yes, sir.